Hi, this is Matt with Beard Implement Company in Orangevale, Illinois, going over a few of our common flagship issues we see. Here we are at our vertical spreaders, and this is what we call a whale's tail. It's the divider that goes between the two spreader paddles and guides the material out. And there is actually two settings for this divider. There's an upper setting and a lower setting. So this one is actually set in the upper setting, which makes this gap between the paddle and the spreader closer. And it causes corn cobs and stuff to really shake this around and tear it up. And this one's actually cracked right here, and that's where you'll see the cracks start, is right here in these corners. And there is a setting with the mounting bolts that we can set this in the lower setting, and it makes this gap wider, and the corn cobs don't do any damage to the whale's tail after that. So when you're in your crop like soybeans, you might not be able to get all the way out your full spread distance if this gap is too wide. So if you have it in the lower setting and you're having trouble getting all the way out for your larger headers, you'll have to move this back up in your soybeans and then drop it back down in corn. So if we go around the back side, I can show you where the adjusting bolts are to loosen up and make this change. So on the whale's tail adjustment, there's two bolts here, two here, and two up top. These are slotted down here. So if you take the top two bolts out and the middle two bolts out, you can just slide this down. You'll have to loosen these up and then slide that down, and then you can switch between corn and beans if you need to spread those larger headers in soybeans, or if you can leave it in the lower setting and still get your spread pattern you like. It's a lot easier on the spreader if you can leave it in the lower setting. Here we're at our chopper drive, and this one has actually got the problem now is these tensioners will get froze up, so the chopper will actually slip, but it looks like the belt's tight, so you'll get a low chopper speed alarm. And what it is when you put a load on this, it will push this arm up, and the spring tension won't bring it back down and hold tension on the belt. So it's just, if you're getting a low chopper speed warning, this is the first place I look, and it's usually not the sensor. The sensor is usually telling us the truth that the chopper is actually slowing down. So if you're getting that alarm, come over here and check the belt idler arm pivots to see if they're froze up. And the best way to tell is just grab a hold of this belt and push up on it, and it'll push that arm, and now see that arm won't come back down. So now this belt is loose. So this one actually needs to be taken apart up here and cleaned up, and then I usually put a little anti-seize on it just to kind of keep it freed up. Here's just a little tip to make servicing your chopper a little easier. So there's a grease cert one grease cert on this side, and there's two grease certs on the other side to grease the chopper. And if you come over to the left-hand side first and put your chopper high-low shifter in between high and low, you can actually turn it, and the chopper itself turns inside. It's like a neutral position. So then you can grease the bearing on this side and then go over on the other side, and you can actually, the inner hub turns, and the grease cert doesn't always land where you can get a grease gun on it. So if you do this side first and put it in neutral, you can go over to the other side and grease your stationary bearing, and then just grab a hold of the hub and turn it really easy until you can get the grease cert in the right position to grease the rotating bearing on the other side.